Hello, everyone, and welcome to Cin City D&D. I am, as always, your humble yet horrifying DM, Matt Butler. Let's see, there we go. Let's get right into the character intros, shall we? To my right, lovely and talented Madison. Tell us about your character.
I'm Madison. I play Hixsori Basha, the Tiefling Cleric.
Bubbles, I'm a half-orc fighter.
Hi, I'm Casey.
Hey, Garfield.
I'm Casey. I play Penumbra Rios, a green dragonborn rogue who is out to collect as much treasure as possible and to reclaim his mother's former territory.
I'm Charlie. I play Reprious, Frostbeard, the demon-slaying dwarf barbarian.
If you guys will recall from last game, they ended up fighting a beholder and solving a intricate puzzle that involved a lot of Casey being paralyzed. So after that all was concluded, they ended up opening up the passageway to either the forest or I think it was the lava pits, but they decided to go to the forest. So they ended up climbing their way up. So now we'll cut back to them climbing their way up. I believe Bubbles is in front. So Bubbles, you're climbing up the ladder. The rest of you are kind of following behind. Bubbles, as soon as you get up over the, you see a light at the top and you kind of crawl out and you see, as soon as you crawl out onto a path in the middle of a dense forest. This forest is so thick that you can't see. It's probably, we'll say it's about dusk when you get out, right? So the sun is setting, but you can't see any light through any of these trees. It's so thick with overgrowth and vines and just, weeds and all this other stuff. But it looks like a very tall forest. You could tell that from where you are, there's just this one path that kind of leads towards the forest. It's not illuminated, so the light is getting worse and worse as you go on. But every so often, while you're looking around, you notice a little patch of blue fungus just kind of growing on the ground or on a tree or something, just kind of spotted all over. It's not really thick, but it's just kind of in spots. When you turn around, you notice that this forest that you're in must be in a canyon of sorts, because up right next to you is a sheer cliff face. So you can see that the cliff face goes up for probably about 100, maybe 120 feet before it cascades into another cliff face that goes up even higher. So it looks like you're definitely in a valley of some sort. But you've just exited, and now you kind of look down, you see that there's the one path, and you kind of help everybody out. So now all of you are standing there looking down the path. What do you guys want to do?
Is it dark?
It's dusk, so it's getting dark.
Is it smelly?
It is actually. Actually, that's actually a good question, because there is sort of a smell to the air, like a faint smell of dryness and decay.
That's a good comment.
Did Jerry come with us, or did he just abandon us back at the beholder fight?
That's right. So after you guys had defeated the beholder, Jerry came in and he was like, "Hey guys, great job!" And then you guys all climbed to the surface of the forest area. You guys climbed up the crystal ladder to the top. And when you guys got to the top and you were looking around, Jerry was like, "Hey, thanks guys, thanks for helping me get through that. But now that I see there's these open skies above me, and now that I'm free, I'm just gonna go, and we can just call it cool if that's cool with y'all." And so he just kind of decided to take off. But Hixsori, he did want to leave you a scale to remember him by, so he gave you a scale. But then he was like,
I scream after him, "Remember, you still owe me a favor."
and he's like, he looks back and he just nods his head and then flies away.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
You better remember that.
Yeah.
Just call him up one day.
Yeah.
Do a perception check on the fungus.
On the fungus? Yeah, definitely. Now, when you're doing this perception check, how are you? Are you looking at it? Are you smelling it? Are you touching it? What are you?
I'm going to observe it at first, then depending on my roll, I'm going to touch it or not.
Okay. All right. What was it, 19?
Yeah.
Okay, so So you see the fungus, and you kind of go up to it and you kind of look at it a little bit. You notice that it definitely looks different than from any fungus that you've ever seen. Like it definitely still looks like a fungus, but the way that it looks, it looks almost like a collection of tiny funguses more than like one solid fungus. But it definitely has sort of like an air about it. Like you feel as though you should not go near it. Like just something in the back of your head tells you like, no, I probably shouldn't go near that stuff.
All right. Let's see if I have a bag. Does anybody have a bag on them?
I have a backpack.
That's what we're all carrying our stuff in, though. That's what we don't want to take that.
You got a sack, but
I have
that's
a
filled
sack.
with shit too.
What's in it?
A bunch of shit.
God damn it. Belt pouch. Is there anything in my belt pouch? How big is this? What
No.
is it?
Well, I mean, it depends on how much of it you want to try to get. But yeah, you don't have anything in your belt pouch.
I have a belt pouch.
All right. Anybody else have some kind of bag?
Well, how big is my belt pouch?
No,
Is it like a fanny pack?
no, it's like a little pouch.
So it's not as big as a fanny pack.
No, it's like maybe like.
I have a bit of hide. We killed way back in the beginning of the labyrinth. We could wrap it up then.
Fine. So you managed to get a little bit of it into the belt pouch, and then close, or into the hide. I mean, and then pull it closed.
All right. I'm done. We can do whatever now, group.
I'm gonna touch it with Mage Hand.
Like just poke it or something.
Yeah.
Okay, you poke it with mage hand, nothing, doesn't do anything.
Can I do a perception check based on how it feels to try to know what it is?
Well, you can't feel what the mage hand feels.
Oh, that's true.
It just pokes. You can just tell it what to do. Okay, so that was what Bubbles wanted to do. Did any of the rest of you want to do anything?
So you've just got some in like a bag now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm gonna like use my sword and like swing it at stuff later.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you want, I can just like mage hand a piece of fungus into something's face just to see what it does.
All right.
We gotta go find something. So down the path?
Yeah, let's go.
So you guys follow the path. It leads forward for about 80 feet, then turns to the right, and all around you, the forest stays really, really thick. Every so often, you see sort of eyes looking down at you from the trees or up at you from like under a bush or something like that, but nothing comes out and attacks you. Then as you continue down the path, it continues for a while, another probably 80 or 90 feet, and then it hooks at a left. You follow, continue on, and then it hooks another right after a couple hundred feet, or after about 100 feet, and then you see this huge, long stretch of just the length of I don't know, probably about 300 feet of just like straight ahead, just
Can you see anything?
no, it's just super dark.
Can I cast light?
Yeah, because at this point, yeah, the sun has set, so it's getting dark.
Okay, I'm gonna cast.
It's like
I
it's
wanna
very dark.
Cast light and sort of put it like in the
What do you want to cast light on?
stretch road,
Well, I mean, it has to be like an object.
like the ground.
I'll pull out my sword.
You want to on your
Yeah,
sword?
just do my sword. Yeah, that'd be sweet.
Yes.
You kind of hold it in front like a sort of like a torch.
I cast, or I rolled an 18 for a trap check.
For a trap check? Okay, yeah, so you see that there are no traps on in the forest that you can see. It just looks like it's getting darker, and the path just seems to be like foreboding, but there doesn't seem to be any obvious traps. So you guys continue down the path, trying illuminating your way, and you can definitely see that there are more and more eyes gathering in the woods around you that start to look at you, almost like they're attracted to your light. And as you keep going, eventually it hooks a left, and then you go about 50 feet, and then it hooks a right and opens up into a large open field that seems to have been clear cut from the forest. Like the forest is still encroaching on the sides of it, but there's a big open space. Looking directly ahead, using your sword for light, you see that directly ahead and to your left, there is a large wooden structure. It seems to be some sort of basket. It's very large. It's like 50 foot wide. It's a very, very large basket. And it's sort of oblong. It's only maybe like 10 feet across, but it seems to be, there seems to be struts, like big struts over the top of it that connect at the top. And then there's some sort of giant balloon attached. Oh, I'm sorry. Attached, but the balloon does not seem to be inflated. It's like hanging over. It's like just like loose canvas hanging over the thing. And there seems to be some sort of like contraption built in the center of the basket. Some sort of like, looks like kind of like a wooden structure thing, like kind of, and there's like a metal cage inside of it. But that all is anchored to the ground by a big iron chain, like the rungs of which are like, you know, that big, you know, just like a massive iron chain that is anchoring it to a rock, a giant boulder, like on the ground. Then to the right, it looks like there is a just blasted out campsite where it looks like there was a fire or something, but there's just tattered remnants of tents, of 3 tents to be exact. And in the center, it looks like there is a giant ice cube. Like it looks like it's maybe 5 foot by 5 foot, and it's just like a perfect cube of ice. In fact, when you walk in, it gets noticeably colder. Like it was probably maybe 70 degrees outside when you first exited, and now that the sun has set, it's like 50s, and it's dropping when you're around the ice. So it's getting down into like the 40s or the 30s.
There's like a big ass field with a balloon basket thing that's attached by a chain to the ground, and then 3 tents with an ice cube, a big ass
cage, a metal cage in the middle.
Yeah, well, it's part of like the basket structure. It looks like it's like some sort of machine, perhaps.
So there's a metal cage inside the basket.
Yeah, so let's say the basket, like this is the shape of it, right? Obviously not the scale, but like if it was on its side, this would be the shape of the basket, right? The bottom of the basket. In the center of that, there's like maybe like this big compared to like the rest of it. There is a cage made of metal. It's like just like a metal mesh. Okay, it kind of looks like that, you know, and it just goes goes around, and it's maybe like 4 foot tall.
So we can't see.
The sides of the basket are also about 4 foot tall.
So we can't see if there's anything in there.
No.
Okay.
And the basket is on its side, or it's right side up?
No, the basket is right side up. Yeah.
Okay. But the balloon is deflated?
Yeah, the balloon is deflated and like hanging over the side. Some of it is like hanging on the branches of like the trees next to it.
Does it look like the basket was chained there, like to prevent it from flying, or like as like somebody kidnapped the people in the basket, or like this is its like docking station?
No, it definitely looks like that was not a natural thing that they did. Like somebody like just like it looks like afterwards hooked on this big chain to hook it to the ground.
Okay. I'm going to inspect the ice.
Okay. You want to do a perception check, or?
That is what I will do.
Looks like a normal block of ice. I mean, it looks like there's some like, you know, condensation on it. Like there's some frost on it. I mean, it just looks like a normal block of ice.
I touch it.
You want to touch it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Penumbra reaches out his hand to touch it, and as soon as he touches it, his hand becomes stuck to it, and you instantly take.
Dude, is this ice damage?
Yes.
Yeah. Remember, white dragon regalia, immunity to ice, baby.
Oh, okay. All right. So it touches you, and you feel a shiver pass over you, but because of your white dragon regalia, you manage to resist the cold. But you do not resist its pulling urge as it sucks you inside of it. Make a strength check.
So cool. Shit, guys, ice is eating me.
No.
I don't know how. Crap. 12.
It manages to pull you inside of it, and you continue to take cold damage, but of course you're immune to cold damage, so you're just sort of like inside of it, hanging out inside of it. Yeah.
Can I see outside of it, or like, am I just?
No, like you're inside. You're inside of it, just like you can't move. Like because it's like so cold that you like can't move. But like,
can I see what's happening outside from my like frozen state?
Yes. So Bubbles, you are up first. What do you want to do?
Actually, don't really know.
It's a tough call. It's a block of ice.
Like, I have fire breath. Like, I could do that.
Yeah.
Anybody like Wait, I have a fucking thing for this. Wait, hold on. I got this.
You got a feat for fighting a giant ice cube?
I have many feats, man. Not for fighting ice cubes, but for my enemies.
Is ice one of your favorite enemies?
No, it's just like, since I'm a soldier, I can like observe something for a round, and know its weak. Like I can know 5 of its like 1 of 5 of its stats or something like that.
Dude, I would
tell you one of them right off the bat since it's ice.
Can I just, for my own like sake, can I just like imagine that ice like killed your parents and that you have like a personal vendetta against them?
But they're all literally ice cubes, just like
they're just ice cubes. Like they don't have like legs or anything. They're just like cubes of ice.
No. I'm imagining it like actual ice cubes. Like your mom and dad like both choked on a glass of water at some point.
No, what I was imagining was like that scene from Batman where like little Batman's on the ground and he's like, no, and then his parents are dead, but like it's ice cubes with guns. Like, that's what I was imagining in my head.
They're actual size and the guns are actual
You see,
size.
what I was imagining is, that Futurama episode with the brain balls?
Mm-hmm.
Just like that, but with ice cubes. Pummeling somebody.
I thought it was Ice-T from Rick and Morty.
That's amazing.
Any one of these are good answers.
That's what I was totally about to say. Is like all of these are perfectly valid answers. Like it's phenomenal.
I feel like you shouldn't cut this.
Yeah. Oh no, it's gonna get cut, but it will go in like the bloopers section or something like that.
Oh, the bloopers is gonna be amazing.
Fuck yeah, it is.
This son of a bitch, who I hate for killing my parents. I'm gonna use. I'll understand the creature's biology, and
I will understand the biology of ice.
That's amazing.
no, it's a monster. I know it's a monster. Come on now.
It is. It's great. It's a monster.
I just want next round you to be like H2O. That was it.
Yeah, right.
Well, I found out, guys. This is dihydrogen oxide. And then I guess their special action, if they have any.
Though it looks like a cube of ice, it is actually not a cube of ice. It is a monster. It is what's known as a blue ooze, which is a ooze that looks exactly like ice, but deals cold damage instead of acid damage. And basically it uses like, it can pull the stuff inside of it to like freeze it and turn it into like frozen stuff, and destroy it that way. Plus it has pseudopods that swing out and attack.
All right, cool.
Do I see any other stuff inside here besides me?
You do, actually. You see one thing in particular. It looks like a scroll, but it's frozen solid.
Dope.
All right, so I'm going to use my 2 attacks to hit it with my, one move to use my fire breath.
Okay.
And then my second move, I'm just going to try to hit it with my sword.
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
I do 22 points of damage against it with fire breath.
So because it's fire, it actually does double damage.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah. because it's very susceptible to fire damage.
Oh, sweet. Well, that makes sense. It's ice.
You hit it with the fire breath, and it's like, and you see that the front part of it like melts, sort of, and it definitely takes damage, and it sort of like tries to shimmy away from you in that like ooze-like way where it just like moves, kind of like shimmies. But then you come in with your sword and you slice into it, and you realize that your sword goes through it like butter. So it slices right into it, and you hit Casey as well. So Casey, you take how much damage did you do? 14 points damage.
Damn it.
So yeah, so you take that damage, but it also slices the ooze in half, and so the ooze shimmies into 2 oozes, and then you get dumped out onto the floor. So you're like not in the ooze anymore, and now there's 2 oozes that are like each is half the size of the ooze before it.
Did that scroll fall out with me?
No, it did not.
Poop.
I guess I'm just gonna attack one of the. You said there are 2 oozes now. See, I don't know if I should hit it again.
Let's get that scroll.
Whoa. Shit. Ah! I muted you, but now I can't unmute you. Shit, no. What happened?
That's weird.
That's weird. Might be. Yeah, so fucking Reprious comes in and slices with his demon slaying sword, fucks that thing up, and slices it into a whole bunch of little pieces, but all those pieces like thaw out because of the, you know, like the ambient temperature of the room is higher than they are, so they just like melt into goo. And they like evaporate, like they like what's the word? Sublimate, or they just in the gas.
Cool.
So then there's only 1 left. Oh, and when it does that, it leaves the frozen scroll sitting on the ground. So now there's 1 left.
I use Flame Strike, and I just conjure up a little fire, sort of sword-looking deal, but it's just made out of fire, and I strike him.
Sweet. And where you strike him, you literally just melt away because he takes double damage from fire. You literally just melt him away, and he evaporates into nothing. Just whoosh, into like goo that just like turns into
Good.
Nice shit.
gas. Yeah. So yeah, so now you guys have dispatched this foe, and now you have just a pile of goo that you guys are dealing with, as well as a frozen scroll.
Cool. Let's check this scroll out.
Yeah, let's do it.
Is there a way to lightly thaw the scroll?
That's a possibility. You could probably still read it, even though it's frozen. It's not like it's like frozen in anything.
Well, I
It's
didn't
just,
know if it was
frozen
like a rolled up
solid.
scroll.
No, it's just like a scroll.
Oh.
It's like, you know, but it's like frozen.
Yes.
Yeah.
What language is it in?
It is in Draconic, I believe.
Dope.
Yeah.
That is one of my 2 languages.
Nice. So do you want to read it?
Yes.
Okay. So you kind of brush it off a little bit, get some of that ooze off of there as it continues to sublimate. You take a look at it, and at first you're kind of confused by what you're seeing, but then as you look over at the basket contraption, you start to put 2 and 2 together. Basically, these are blueprints for some sort of flying machine. So it looks like that machine is supposed to the balloon is supposed to inflate somehow. Basically, it shows that there is a couple of pieces missing that you should have that you don't have. So first of which is a disc. Looks like there's a disc about the size of a dinner plate that is supposed to be slid into the metal basket in the center. Or on top of the metal basket in the center, I'm sorry. And then underneath the metal basket in the center, there's some sort of candle that you're supposed to put in there. So both of those things are missing. In addition, there seems to be a steering wheel that is gone. And also in the picture, it's obviously not anchored to the ground. So there's a key that you have to find to unlock it so that you can then fly it. But the most interesting part about these is that not only are they blueprints, but they seem to show some sort of aerial map, like kind of directions on how to fly it to some sort of pyramid-like structure in the sky.
Cool.
So yeah, but like apart from that, oh, and you also notice that there are several patches of that fungus all over the place around here, especially by the tents.
Oh, I should have wiped that on the blade and seen what it did.
Yeah.
Oops.
Okay, so can we get into the tent without touching the fungus?
Oh no, the tents are all decayed. It looks like they were like burned or like destroyed or something. They're all just like collapsed messes.
Oh, but they're all covered in the fungus?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to. Are there any like bodies or anything?
Not that you can see. No.
All right. I'm gonna check the basket.
Okay. Do you want to roll like a perception check?
Yeah, I'm on it. Oh yay! 21.
Okay, so you see that there is, the basket seems to be made of very sturdy oak. It seems to be tied together. Clearly, you can see that the struts hold the balloon up. It looks like it's in great repair. You can see where the steering wheel is supposed to go. But you notice that there is a line of fungus that goes up one side of it and down toward, it's like a broken, like patchy line that goes up one side, down, over to where the steering wheel was and towards where the basket was and also to where the chain was. So
There might be some sort of creature leaving a trail of fungus.
it's very possible.
That's kind of what it sounds like. Not that I'm a ranger or anything.
Right.
Does it look? Can we tell if the fungus like goes anywhere else besides the campsite and the basket?
It seems to lead off into the forest.
I'm kind of tempted to head in the direction that the fungus seems to be heading. We need 3 parts or 4 parts to get this thing off the ground. Does the thing come with instructions on how to fly it?
Yes. Yeah, that's all on the blueprint.
Dope. Does it look like there's any indication as to why this is like an open field or like?
It appears to be like creature made. Like it seems to be a clear cut field. You can see where there was like a plow that went through and like cleared it away. Now the forest has started to encroach back on it, so it looks like the field was probably larger at one point, but it's getting slowly overgrown. But
Cool.
yeah, it was definitely clear cut.
All right. In that case, I'm gonna head in the direction of that the fungus is growing, but I'm going to cast silent image and create an exact copy of myself that walks 10 feet in front of me, and I'm going to cast invisibility on myself.
Okay. Are you going by yourself, or is everybody in the party going with you? Now, remember...
I would like everyone to come with.
Now, remember, just something to keep in mind, it is nighttime still. It's like probably 2 in the morning at this point. Or actually, no, probably closer to like 11 or midnight.
Oh. I guess maybe we should take a rest before we get going again.
It is entirely up to y'all. And if so, how do you want to rest and where do you want to rest?
I was gonna say, like, I was just gonna find a nice spot without fungus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like maybe not taking on the what's it called, the night animals of this forest might be better at the moment.
Yeah, maybe. It's okay, so you guys all kind of like build your campsite at the end, kind of against the cliff face, kind of towards the basket, but like as far away from the fungus as you can.
Yeah.
And you guys, tuck, kind of like all settle in for a good night's sleep. So you guys set watches and you go through your watches and nothing really seems amiss. Okay, so you're looking out across the field, right? The entire night you've been worried about the stuff coming out of the forest. And when you look back at the field, you notice something very strange. The fungus seems to have moved overnight. So while you were sleeping and while you were watching the forest and everything, it has crept closer. So all the fungus that was covering everything else has sort of congealed into like a sort of lazy arc around you guys, and it seems to be it's like moving closer. It hasn't had enough time to get all the way to you, but when you wake up in the morning, you notice that it's definitely closer than it was when you fell asleep.
Cool. Yeah. That's that could be fun. Let's pick up a bunch more. I feel like this could be a good like trap for somebody.
Yeah, your fungus is still in the bag because the bag is closed. So.
Oh, that's cool. Huh. Well, that's weird.
Yeah.
Not anywhere too long, huh?
Good thing we didn't sleep in.
Right.
All right. Well, you know, we'll have to keep an eye out on that as we move forward.
Like, what can we do about it?
Right.
It's like seems like a waste of effort to like burn a bunch of fungus or something. Like.
Yeah. Let's walk around the fungus arch then. We'll walk away from there.
Yeah, we'll just like walk away from this slow-moving enemy.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, so you guys just like walk around it, and do you want to like head into the forest? Oh, but one thing that you do notice is this morning now all the fungus has moved towards you, so you don't see the trail that you had last night.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Well, I at least know the part that it was leading out of, at least.
Yeah, you know kind of like the general direction it was leading towards. Yeah.
All right. I mean, since this is the end of the path, I feel like our only choice is to start wandering randomly into the woods.
Yeah.
I think we could roll something. I'm sure there's somebody that's smart or something, right? I might be. Maybe.
Wait, what are we rolling for?
Like some way to go, some direction to follow, right?
I mean,
Just have a +7 on survival. I rolled a
Yeah,
21.
15.
It sounded like Charlie said 15.
Yeah, and what did you get, Will?
A 21.
21. Okay, so both of you kind of notice the same thing. There's not like paths in the forest, but it looks like there's a way that it looks like there's been a couple of creatures that have gone that way. So just from like kind of looking at it and knowing like your very little knowledge of tracking in general, you kind of see that there are two sort of pathways. There's one that goes off to the right, one that goes kind of off to the left, sort of. That one's not very strong. And then there's one that goes like straight ahead, like almost parallel to the path that you came in on.
Let's go.
I'm just kind of oblivious, like, let's go that way, pointing in not any correct direction at all.
Do you guys want to
Decided to take left turns all the time, right?
yeah.
So let's go left.
Y'all want to turn left?
Turn left, D&D.
All right, so you guys walk into the forest. Now the forest, you guys want to stay together. Who's leading? Bubbles, I would imagine. Yeah, so Bubbles, you are leading into the forest. Now the forest is so restrictive, it's like walking through like an entanglement spell almost. It's like that thick of undergrowth. So it reduces all of your movement speeds down to 10 feet. And the forest is so dense and it's like difficult to see that for every 10 feet that you guys go in. I'm going to roll a d20 to see what you guys encounter. So the first 10 feet that you guys go into the forest, let's see what you encounter. Okay.
Can I just like slash through the forest with my sword?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, but the it's so thick and it's like living forest. So like it would take forever for you to hack through all of it, and you'd also fuck up your axe in the process.
That makes sense.
So nothing. So you guys encounter nothing. So the first 10 feet, you guys are like, okay, cool. Whew. Maybe this forest isn't so bad. But the next 10 feet that you go, oh, this is gonna be fun. Okay, so you walk out, right? Like you walk the next 10 feet, and you guys are kind of like crawling, trying to like get. and then you hear something coming towards you doing the same from your right. But it sounds weird. It sounds almost like metal or something. And as it clears its way into the forest, you see that it's some sort of metallic construction. It's like made of all these different gears, but held together by this like oily goo type something. Like almost like it's glued together, but with like oil almost. And it's just like clanking, and it comes out, and it seems to glow like softly red. And it has like a hump over its right shoulder. It's like a big mechanical like looking hump thing. But it walks out, and as it just like senses you guys, it's like, and it looks at you, and Penumbra, you just fucking lose it, because this is the thing that attacked your mom. Like, this is one of those things from
motherfucker.
Yeah, this is one of those things that you had seen from before, where
the fucking slave traders or whatever.
Yeah, and it like you see that it kind of like looks at all of you and turning it, and then it goes like, Dragonborn, that is of use to us. We must capture, and then it starts coming towards you. So everybody roll initiative.
Oh, fuck this bitch.
So Bubbles, you are definitely up first with your natural 20. What do you want to do?
I'm fighting a metal thing.
Alrighty.
This metal thing is definitely not biological, so I know not to study it.
Right.
I'll make whatever. How far away is it from me? Can I like?
You're like right up on it. Like you're both walking through the woods, and you just like came upon each other.
All right. I'm gonna hit it with my axe.
You swing around with your whirling axe, and you chip into it. You see that glow seems to almost like repel your axe a little bit, but your force still comes through and hits it for the full amount of damage. But you can tell that like part of its armor class is coming from that glow, whatever that is.
So Penumbra, just like getting super pissed, instantly devolves into what he's learned for like the reason he became a rogue was because these things were able to attack his mother using sneak attacks, and that was how they beat his super powerful mom. So he is using what they used against his mom against him. He dashes behind him, gets into his blind spot, and delivers a sneak attack of his ice breath attack from the White Dragon Regalia, and he just like covers his entire back just with this just cone of cold, just like freezing him over and hopefully like hitting the joints on his arms and legs and like stifling his movement.
Yes, that is exactly what happened. So you see that he's like he can still move, but it's like much slower than he could before. He's like, you can see that like whatever powered him, he's like cooling. He's like, he's like trying to fight it, but he's like cooling down.
I'm gonna make a straightforward attack with my demon slaying sword.
So Charlie, you go in with your demon slaying sword, trying to attack, but it manages to move out of the way, and because the overgrowth is so thick, you kind of like end up getting tripped up and with your swings, and you end up kind of swinging, and that glow that it has seems to like almost make your sword sort of repel from it, sort of like bounce off. It seems to affect your sword more so than the rest of the swords for some reason. It is the robot thing's turn. So it looks around, it sees what's happening, and it's moving super slowly, and it like you see that it just like pauses for a second, and you can hear some like ticking sounds, and it just like probability assessed, destruction imminent, self-destruct, and then it just explodes. So everybody make a dexterity save.
Fuck!
So Hixsori manages to dive like behind some bushes, and so she doesn't take as much damage as the rest of you.
Gotcha.
And you guys are all kind of you see that like the trees and stuff just like explode. So there's a whole bunch of debris all over the place. There's like a big smoldering crater there. You guys are knocked to the ground. Yeah, it was like a whole big to-do, and now there's like smoke just like trailing up into the sky. But you guys kind of brush yourselves off, and after taking that damage, you guys are otherwise fine. So
Can I do perception checks to see if there's any part of the creature left over I can study?
Yeah, definitely. Go for it. You managed to find like a couple of gears and stuff that you study. You can definitely tell that these gears are made of some substance that like seems to come from somewhere else. It doesn't seem to be something on the material plane. It seems to be some sort of otherworldly material. The oil itself is like a gooey oil, but it's like seems to be electric. Like it gives you sort of a jolt, not enough to harm you, but like just like a little bit of a jolt when you touch it. And you can see that where the you can see the remnants of that hump. It seems to be where the where it seemed to house like some missiles or explosives or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do I see any indication to where the red glow was coming from?
No, you did not. Yeah, you didn't see. You don't see any source of that.
Okay. Did I ever know what that was, just like from being in close quarters with them before?
So you don't know what it is. You know what it does, though. It's some sort of shielding armor that seems to repel magic. So like they, as far as you can tell, they are like immune to most magic effects, but not draconic magic effects. Strangely enough.
Okay. Cool. Can somebody do somebody with a good survival do a check to see what direction that thing was coming from? It's probably got heavier feet, so it would have probably left more of a trail.
I can do that.
26.
Go ahead.
There we go.
Okay, so that one, so you notice that it definitely was coming from like the right side of you, kind of towards back to where the path was.
Oh, boo.
Okay, so Hixsori mutters some sort of arcane, mystical, holy word, and all of you get healed for, what was it? 15 points of damage.
Oh, sweet. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, yeah, so you guys know that it was leading back towards the path.
Well, we don't want to backtrack to the way we came, although I'm still curious about where that thing came from. But it seemed like they're just like scouting this area for more people to do something with.
Yeah.
All right. You want to keep going on the path we were on before?
Sure.
Yeah, does that sound like a plan to you?
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys move the next 10 feet through the forest, and it opens up into a natural little glade. The grass seems to be very patchy and gray. There are 4 large apple trees with patches of thick blue fungus kind of towards the roots. And they all form a circle around a thick tree stump in the center that seems to have some sort of carving on it. The glade is thick with gnats, and there's a general smell of rot that seems to be centered on the trees.
Covered in.
The apple trees are covered in fungus.
Yes.
Could have gone for an apple right about now.
Yeah.
I have apples right there.
Do you want to roll a perception?
Yeah.
So you go up to the trees and you kind of look at them. You can definitely tell that the trees are where the smell is coming from, and the apples are like the same color as the fungus, and they like are dripping this like blue goo. They just look like they're rotting on the tree. But you notice that the trees, when you go next to the tree trunk and you look at the tree, that, like at the side that's facing the tree trunk, the tree stump, you see that they all have different letters in Draconic written on them, different strings of letters.
So each tree has a different letter on it?
Each tree has a different string of letters.
Well, you're the. What are the letters, Casey?
Yeah, what do they say?
Okay, so the first tree is 10 foot tall, and it has the Draconic letters. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. It's about 10 feet tall, and it has the Draconic letters X, B, U, F, and S. inscribed on the base of the tree.
And they're just like all on top of each other, just like up and down?
No, like a cross.
So like XBU and then FS is the next one, so it's like 2 lines?
No, just one line across. Just X, B, U, F.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Then the next one is a 12-foot tall tree that has the draconic letters G, J, S, and F inscribed across the base of it.
S is in Sam?
Yeah. And then F is in Frank.
Okay.
Then the next one is an 11-foot tree that has the letters F, B, S, U, I.
Okay.
And the final tree has the letters B, J, and S.
How tall is that tree?
That one is 13 feet tall. And then do you guys want to roll a perception on the tree trunk?
Yeah. 18.
18. Okay, so you walk up to the tree trunk, and you can see that there's a little bit of fungus on this tree trunk, but not as much as on the trees. And you can see that it seems to be all along the side, there seems to be flames, like giant flames carved along the sides of it. On the top, there are 3 holes in a line near the center. Each one is a different shape. The first is a square. The next one is a triangle, and the third is a circle. And then underneath that, there is another line of symbols. And that is a circle, a square, and then a triangle.
Just the same shapes in a different order.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take Bubbles' approach from last time and do nothing. Does that solve everything?
Sadly, no.
Damn it.
Did you put in work for this one?
Yeah.
Okay, so we got letters.
Fuck. So, flames carved into this stump, right?
Yeah. I think that we should take like the idea of small, middle, and large, and then try to line them up. They call it like the rows, and line them up with each other in columns to see if anything gets written that way.
What?
So we have 3 different sized trees, right?
4.
4?
Yeah.
Even better. 4 little words are more common than 3. So we there was a line of stuff written on the bottom of each of them, right? Like 5 or 6 letters.
Yeah.
Between 3 and 5 letters, depending on which tree.
So it's obviously some kind of like message, right? You just have to line them up in a certain order so that they read up and down, possibly.
But it's like, are the letters are like carved into the trees, right?
Right.
But it might say something.
Possibly.
I'm feeling like it's a word.
But like, I'm not sure if each like tree is a different word. Because like the 13-footer just has a B, J, and an S. So
BJ.
unless the word is
That's a clue.
blowjobs. I don't know.
It's clearly BJ's,
Yeah,
guys.
that's a word.
Yeah. A common phrase in Draconic.
Clearly
Also
to
common.
solve the puzzle, you have to blow the tree. Like, I thought that was pretty obvious, but, you know.
Is the Cin City?
All right, who's the sluttiest member of our party?
I was in the army, so I guess old Bubbles. Take one for the team.
Good old bubbles. That's amazing.
All right, so do you see any words popping out of you?
Not really. I'm not sure if it's anything, but I'm noticing that a few of the trees have all the same letters. So I'm not sure if that's something. Like all of the trees have an S in them. 3 of the trees have a B in them, and 2 of the trees have a U in them.
Busts.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Sub.
Killer weird. I see Matt smoking too. So
What are you? I'm not even. I'm sorry. What are you guys saying?
do you see how smirking he is? What does that have to do with the something, right?
I missed
What
it.
is it? I'm sorry. I was drawing something to make sure that it made sense to me. I'm sorry. That's why I was smirking. What were you guys talking about?
Yeah, Casey just was like, well, 4 of the trees have this letter, 3 of the trees have this letter, 2 of the trees have this letter, right?
Oh, yeah, that might have something to do with it.
Liar. You're lying.
Maybe. Totally was not accidental and an awesome occurrence if that is in
Because
in
now I
fact
know
the truth.
that's not where
But
we go.
that is that's yeah, totally. You should feel that.
No, you should
Is
stop.
there a tree that doesn't have any of the letters? So, like the final tree, does any of one of the trees not have all the letters?
No. All of the trees that have at least one letter that's repeating. Although the 11-foot tree has an I, which doesn't occur on any other tree. And the 12-foot tree has G, which doesn't occur on any other tree.
So we need to look at the tree's Instagram accounts. Are there any devices I connect with?
Can I make a social media perception check?
So we have between tree I and tree G to fuck around with, right?
Yeah, and don't forget about the shapes on the stump.
I feel
too.
like the squares have something to, the shapes have something to do with it. Maybe the names of the shapes, or I don't know. Because the shapes are also.
Oh, wait. Okay, hang on. Okay, wait. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. I don't really know how these connect, but I feel like it might be something because there's total 4 S's between all the trees, and squares have 4 sides. Do you think that might be something?
By the way that he's laughing, I'm gonna guess no.
Oh my god, I'm loving this so much, guys. Like this is.
But I do think it has something to do with the shapes, because why would the shapes be? And also the shapes are in order, kind of, like in a column on the thing, right?
Yeah.
My character is gonna go into a spirit ritual state and ask his animal guide for help.
Don't I have divine intervention?
Okay, so wait, so Charlie, you do that. You go into your meditative state, Reprious, right? And you're like communing with your animal guide. Your animal guide, you see these images flash before you, and you're in like a forest, but it's a different forest. You're like running, and then you see before you these like geometric shapes, and you see the square, and the triangle and the circle, and then you see the circle, the square, and the triangle underneath, and you see that there are lines connecting the squares together and the triangle. And then the circle, and it seems like that pattern repeats forever with that, yeah, like where it's just the square, triangle, circle, square, triangle, circle, square, triangle, circle, with the circle, square, triangle, circle, square, triangle, circle, square, triangle underneath it, and they just continue to repeat, and you see that the letters morphing into different shapes, and then all of a sudden you just pop out of it, and you're like, oh, what?
I'm working. So I get the shapes are.
That's what a spirit quest is supposed to do for you. You come out more confused.
That's what happened. Do I have divine intervention?
Yes.
Can I ask the god if he knows?
You can ask your god for help, for sure. They're not going to give you the answer.
I want to ask him for help. Ask him to get some.
You want to phone a friend?
Yeah.
Phone a deity?
Can I phone Milo?
Okay, so you
pissed.
hear, yeah, no, so you do, like you like pray to Malil, and you hear like this melody come out, and it's like a G chord, and then he plays like an A chord and then a C chord, and then a G, and then an A, and then a C, and then a G, and an A, and a C, and he keeps like going through this chord progression, and then you see that the G starts to morph into a C, and the C morph into like the next one, and they start morphing into the one after them, and then it starts speeding up until it's just like it's almost like he's one off of what he was doing before, and then it's like over. It just plays out and just like crescendos and then ends.
So he's just playing the same chorus over?
Wait. Okay. Is the puzzle in front of us just depicting like the life cycle of a tree, but not in order?
So everybody stop what you're thinking right now. Just stop what you're thinking right now. Right? Think about it. Think about it like this. Like maybe if I would have explained it like this, it would have. If I would have used more shapes, this would have been so much easier for me to explain. But since I only used 3, it's kind of difficult of a concept for you guys to get. But imagine that the shapes are an alphabet, right? And in the alphabet of shapes, let's say square is an A, triangle is a B, and circle is a C, right? So if we were to extend that all the way to Z, right? Then let's say the pattern underneath that would then start with circle, square, triangle. So you see what's happening? So that square, then the one underneath it would then, that A underneath it would be B. And underneath that B, it would be C. And underneath that C, it would be D, and so on and so forth. So think about that in relation to the letters on the trees.
And so then F is E.
Yeah.
And then A. Yeah, air. Oh my god.
Okay. So wow.
So it's air, earth, fire, and water. You asshole. You're such an asshole. Okay. Air, earth, and then.
So part 1 of the puzzle complete.
I blow on the 13-foot tree.
Nothing happened.
Fucking.
Now remember, just to help you guys out, remember that the tree stump helped you the first time. It'll probably help you this time too.
We'll blow on all of them and see if one of them does something.
No, it does not. But remember that the tree stump has flames carved all over it.
Set it on fire.
Set the fire one on fire.
That's what I want to do.
Okay, so yeah, so you do like a flame strike on the tree. The tree instantly catches on fire like it's like made of kindling and just burns into, like turns into a pillar of ash and just like falls away, revealing a large iron chest where the tree once was.
I want to open it. Or is it locked?
It is not locked. It's open.
Can I look inside of it?
Well, it's not open. I mean, it's like you have to open it. But
Oh
it is
wait, should
unlocked.
I just open? I don't know if I should just open it. Someone check and see if there's anything wrong with it.
Like traps?
Yeah.
Or something?
I got it.
That's a solid idea.
Thank you.
25.
Okay.
25. Okay, yeah. So there's definitely not any traps.
All right, I
Like,
push it on open.
you open it.
Yes.
Okay, so you open it and you see that there's really not a lot in there. There seems to be a bundle of cloth, and that's about it.
I want to open up the bundle of cloth.
Okay, so you pull out the bundle of cloth, and it's actually silk, and it seems to be a long sash that is stained red, blue, and green, like crimson red, cobalt blue, and emerald green. So they're very vibrant colors. Very vibrant colors all over this sash. And inside the sash is actually a small, bright blue stone that when you pick it up begins to pulse very faintly. And it's cool to the touch, the stone.
Is there something living in this stone?
I don't know.
Is it a genie? I want to rub it. What happened?
Nothing happened.
Can I see if Poofy likes it or not? Maybe determine if it's from the elemental plane of air.
So it flies, it like flies towards it and kind of looks it over, but it doesn't really like do anything. But it just kind of sniffs it and then flies away.
Okay.
Is there any water around?
No. Not unless you have some.
I think I might have well, do I have water?
Why do you want water?
I want to immerse it in water and see what happens.
Okay.
I don't know.
Trying to dunk it in some
You
water.
said it was blue. The water's blue. It was cold.
Well, I'm sure you have like a water skin. or
Okay,
something.
I
You can
use
pour
my
water
water
on it or
skin.
something.
I pour water on. God damn it! What is this thing?
You could do a perception
I do a
check. You could try to do
perception
like a knowledge check, trying to figure out what it is.
Knowledge check.
Dumping water.
It's just water. Okay.
Okay, so you know that the small little stone is actually moonstone, and moonstone is a stone that glows in large quantities. So you know that it's pulsing faintly because it's picking up on your electric field, and it's starting to pulse a little bit. But if you were to bring it closer to other moonstone, it would glow brighter, almost like a,
Are we close to other moonstones then?
Well, you can walk around and see.
Is that it then?
But yeah, that's all it
Does
does.
it have any good qualities? Does it do anything other than glow?
Oh, the moonstone itself. So when you hold onto it, it absorbs 1 point of damage.
Oh. I want to make that into a necklace. Do I have any rope?
Yeah, you could do like a little bit of cord or something. You could tie it around there, and then
I want to fashion a necklace.
a necklace.
A necklace out of this.
Okay, and so do you want to do a perception knowledge check thing on the sash?
Oh, duh. Yeah, because it has colors on it.
Oh, so you don't know anything about that sash. You're not even sure it's a sash.
Nat
You're
one.
like,
Anyone,
I don't know.
anyone want to roll and see what the sash might be?
I got a nat 20 on mine, so.
Nice. Okay, so Casey, you definitely know what this thing is because it's something that your mother briefly had in her possession before a thief stole it from her. But it's, or something like it. It's like, there are several of these things, but it's called a worm sash. And what you do is you tie it over your eyes like that, like almost like a blindfold. And when looked through it, it enhances your perception checks by 5. It also elongates your teeth into fangs, and the fangs deal a bite attack that does 2d6 plus 4.
Do you already have fangs?
That's pretty
No.
badass.
Mm-hmm.
Sash, Charlie? You want fangs?
Sure.
Why are you wearing it?
I don't know, man.
I mean, you get a +4 on perception, so that would put you up to +11.
And I'm just speaking from like a purely like aesthetic point of view, it would make your character look pretty badass if you had a giant blue glowing sword and you also had fangs and like a blindfold, but you could see better with it. That does sound pretty
Sick-ass
cool.
colors.
Yeah, I have to admit that does sound really cool.
Why am I having to sell this? I feel like I shouldn't have to sell this.
So yeah, so you guys managed to defeat that puzzle, managed to solve it, and grab that booty.
Let's rephrase that. Madison.
Yeah, Madison solved that puzzle.
A smart for tonight.
So
Just tonight.
no, for all the
I'm
time.
just going to erase all this shit.
No, literally, I just have, like, at the beginning of starting to solve this, I just wrote, fuck this. So I'm like, why?
Yeah. All
Connect
right,
the
so
letters.
yes, thank you to everybody who watched and liked and subscribed. Please watch and like us and subscribe to us if you love us like we love you. Please follow us on the Twitter and the Facebook and the Snapchats and the social medias. We have all of the links are in the description below. Check out madisbutler.com for more info about the world and characters of Cin City D&D. Starting with this episode, there's going to be an edited version and a live version, which I will upload. We will be coming. New changes will be coming up soon to the whole enterprise itself. So look forward to that, and thank you to everybody for watching. And remember to keep your friends close, but your dice bag closer. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.